Hi guys, this is week 19 Project Life and I'm starting with my photos, which there are not many of, and I'm kind of doing an unofficial grab 5 today, I guess. I've grabbed just a few bits and pieces from around my room. I've been procrastinating doing this page. It's been a long while since I've done anything even remotely creative. I'd say it's been a good 3 weeks since I've touched a paper that wasn't for packing something, so I'm a little rusty. I'm feeling a little rusty and I was procrastinating doing this page at all, but I sort of figure the only way to get my mojo back is to actually just start. So I'm not expecting this page to be good. I wasn't expecting greatness out of this. I just wanted to make a start and break the drought, I guess, and just sort of see what happened. So I grabbed a paper pad, I've got some tiny word stickers, I've got some new stamps from Feed Your Craft and Brandy Kincaid. I've also got some puffy stickers from Feed Your Craft and Brandy Kincaid as well, my favorites. And I'm just gonna see where this goes. So I picked out a few patterns from the paper pad, just wanted to keep them reasonably plain, not too busy. I've got an enlargement and the rest of my photos are quite, well, they're not busy, they're just blur. They're blur photos. I've got blur photos from this week. So this was the week that we were actually physically packing up and moving. So taking photos was not big on my mind. So as you can see, I ended up with not very many. So I'm trying to make the best of it. I'm gonna just die cut a little circle from some vellum I've got out on the desk there because I knew I wanted to stamp on this button photo, but because it is so busy, I knew no stamp was going to show up well on there. So I'm just going to use this little piece of vellum to help the stamp stand out a little bit more. It just gives it a bit more of a muted background, and once you'll see once I stamp it, it shows up way better than it would have had I actually just stamped on the photo. Now my Stays On ink desperately needs re-inking, so it is actually way lighter than it should have been. But it still stands out. It stands out enough. And I'm just attaching the vellum with my tiny attacher so that no glue shows up behind it. And it's much easier to see in real life, to be honest. From here on the video, it doesn't look like it's stamped that well, but it is much easier to see. Now since I die cut that one circle from vellum, I'm sort of wondering whether I'll go circle themed on the layout, and I kind of do, but again you'll see I'm really rusty, so I'm jumping all over the place. I knew there was this speech bubble puffy sticker that would be perfect for the lily photo, so I've added that on there. And now I go back to my circles. So I was going to add a circle behind this photo, and instead I decided I would die cut the circle into the photo. I would make the photo a circle, but this die set didn't quite have the right size circle in it. It would have been too small. It's either too small or too big. So instead I go old school and I'm just going to trace around the inside of the die, which fit nicely. Although I did try doing it several times with pencil before I gave up and grabbed an actual pen to do it with. So I've just traced around that, and then I'm just going to trim it out with scissors. It's not perfect. It's not as perfect had I die cut it, but it's a much better sized circle for the photo without having to reprint the photo. I try not to reprint photos unless I desperately have to. And then I decided I would back that with vellum anyway. I feel like when I put one vellum piece on there like I have with the button photo, I sort of need to add more to make it, to give it a reason why it was there in the first place. So I have die cut, I folded the vellum in 2 and cheated and cut 2 circles, so I figure I'll use one for the title card and one down here. And now I just need to make some sort of plan for what else I'm going to do on this page. So As you can see, very rusty. I felt really awkward doing this page. It didn't come naturally at all, and I think the reason is that I sort of believe that creativity, it's like a muscle, so it needs to be continually practiced and worked out. And taking a 3-week break like I did has been great for my brain space. There's been a lot else to think about apart from creating pretty paper pages, but it hasn't been great for my practice of creativity. So I'm just going to keep going even though I don't love what I'm making. I think the only way to sort of get back into that habit is just to keep going despite what I end up making, whether I like it or not. So that's my plan at the moment. I'm just going to keep making and hope that I get back into that groove again. But that being said, if you've got any other tips for getting that creative mojo back again, please leave me a comment because I will take any advice at this point. I just did my journaling through my typewriter, and instead of adding the circle sticker like I was going to reinforce my circle theme, I added, I think it's like an ink splotch, I'm not sure what it is, maybe a wax seal, but it says seal the deal, which seemed appropriate for the week that we finalized our house purchase and moved in, so I added that instead. And now I'm adding just a few of these little phrase stickers, and again, I'm not happy with these. I don't like that they're both in a line at the bottom and that there's not a third spot for anywhere else. I couldn't work out how to fix it, how to change it, so I'm just going to have to accept that that's how it is and move on from there. So I'm just going to finish up by doing my title card. I grabbed these stickers that I really liked, and I'm just going to simply add them on top of my vellum circle. I'm just trying to pick out colours, because they're all sort of alternating colours. I'm trying to pick out colours that semi-match with the colours of my photo and my spread. So I end up with a few green ones, pink ones, yellow ones, and I'm just attaching the vellum piece by adding a little bit of glue behind those numbers. You can sort of see it, but it's hidden by the thickers, and I figure that's good enough. So I just need to add a label to put my date stamping on, and I've got this, my bowl of bits and pieces is on my desk with all these little pre-stamped labels from, I think it's the Labels 101 set from Kelly Stamps. So just trying to pick out a colour that I quite liked. I tried a blue, I tried a yellow, and in the end I kind of went with a peachy red colour, which I think stood out the most. You can see how rusty I was. I almost went to like glue it upside down before I stamped, which was what I was intending to do. So instead I'm going to add my date stamping. These little labels don't quite fit my whole date stamp on there, so I just have to sort of partially ink up that date stamp, and then I can glue that down. And then I felt like it was almost finished, but it just needed something. I didn't like the sort of empty space on the yellow card down the bottom. It needed something else, so I wanted to add a bit more colour down there. So I grabbed one of these puffy stickers, one of the little bulldog clips, in that same sort of teal green that's echoed everywhere else, and I feel slightly happier with that, and call it done. So it's not perfect, but it's done, and I always think that done is better than perfect. So I'll carry on from there, and hopefully this mojo will come back soon. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. There's a couple more videos on screen if you want to keep watching. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye!